Even on this hot day in Bangalore's horrible traffic, I still do not sense any heat coming out of the engine. You cheeky little punks at KTM, I love you guys so much. I still have not stalled this bike even once. I have never felt so happy, so joyful. Welcome back to the channel. This is the new KTM Duke 390, the 2023-24 version. Let's come to the verdict directly. I do not want to waste your time. I know it's very precious. This is the most thrilling, the most engaging motorcycle in India as of today. And that said, I'm very confident in saying that this is the best made in India motorcycle that you can buy as of today, period. That's it. So on one hand, we have motorcycles like this, the Kawasaki Ninja 300. It was launched over a decade back. This is how it used to look, and this is how it looks now. Then let's say we have the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 and the Continental GT 650. This is how they used to look 5 years back when they were launched, and they look the same even today. There's no change. The maximum change they have done is probably with new colors and some LED headlights. That is all. And this is how the Duke was when it was launched, the Duke 390 back in 2013. This is how it was in 2017, and this is what it is in 2023. Look at the amount of updates that KTM has done to this motorcycle. Not just the looks, the aesthetics, the ergonomics. They have implemented so much helpful electronics on this motorcycle that it's commendable. I know that all of you guys are already aware of all the design and the mechanical changes, but then let's quickly go over them all from front to rear, right? So in the front, the new headlight, yeah, again, this design is new. The daytime running is completely, the DRL is completely new now. It goes on the side, it's outside of the headlight assembly. And then the wheels, these are new. I mean, new on the Duke 390. KTM introduced these these new wheels on the RC 390 first. If you see, the hub is actually hollow. That is made to save weight of this motorcycle, because again, with all the new design, it does gain some weight, but then KTM has somehow managed to reduce the weight by almost 4 to 4.5 kilos. And then the switchgear, again, this probably is the most premium feeling switchgear on any made in India motorcycle as of today. They have a very good tactile feel to it. The buttons are so nicely laid out. The instrument console, yes, the 390 always had the most advanced instrument console, and now it has gotten even better. The readout is even more clearer than what it used to be, and you have all the information that you would ever want to see on the instrument console. You can control the traction control settings, you can control the riding modes, you can fiddle around with the launch control as well, and then the rest of the things, whatever you would expect, everything is there, and everything is very, very neatly laid out. The fuel tank design is all new. You have this big, quite long, chunky shrouds which come all the way towards the front. Now you may say that this looks same like the Duke 250, but then that is more of a flat design. This has more angles and curves to help the aerodynamics. The radiator on this bike is all new. This is a double fan radiator, which is a curved in design, and this has been taken from the 390 Adventure. The motor is bigger, and that's how KTM has managed to extract the extra horsepower and the extra torque from this motor. This motor has become so much more friendlier to ride in the city. Earlier, let's say right now, we are in second gear. Sorry, the speedometer is disengaged, but to give you an example, if I were doing this kind of a speed on the older model, the model that it replaces, I would have had to move down to the first gear. Otherwise the bike would stall, because the bottom end was so much lacking, and that older engine, the 373cc engine, it needed a lot of downshifts, and KTM has made it so well now, thanks to the added cubic capacity that they have done from 373. Now it's a 398cc, so that 25 cubic capacity is bump, plus the additional 2.5 bhp power gain that this bike has got. That has made it so much more usable within the city. The seat design is new, the rear subframe is new, the main chassis is all new, and everything is like totally new on this. This hardly shares anything from the model that it replaces. And kudos to the entire team at KTM and Bajaj for executing this entire design so well. So I always had two problems with the existing Duke 390. First one was the low speed, no tractability of the engine. Second thing was the suspension. The suspension was bone-jarringly stiff. I mean, on these tarmac roads, it's absolutely fine. But then once you go over cemented roads, the suspension would actually translate everything to your back. It would just constantly keep bouncing up and down. It was awfully stiff, very, very stiff. Both the issues have now been ironed out by KTM with this model. The motor, as I said before, it's extremely friendly now. It has a good bottom end. And then the suspension, yes, it does get the adjustable suspension, as you can see here, but I have not fiddled around with whatever the stock settings is. And in the stock setting itself, it is so nicely absorbing whatever, you know, the roads are throwing at it. Let's say we have these rumbling steps on the front over here. There he goes. You didn't feel, I mean, I did not feel anything. That's how good the suspension has become now. And now comes the price. 3,13,000 ex-showroom, as far as I remember. My memory is not so good. I'm getting older now, so sorry for that. Now, see, with all of these changes, you would expect KTM to hike the prices by at least 40,000 or more. For an example, the Interceptor 650, the day it was launched in 2018, since then the prices have gone up by nearly 30%, a little more than 30%. Earlier it was like, what, on road it would cost 3 lakh, now it is 4,20,000 almost. So looking at that, you would expect that KTM would have, you know, hiked the prices a lot, but then no. KTM has only hiked about 10,000, I think, or 11,000 odd rupees from the model that it replaces for all these changes, all the goodies, everything that you are getting. Beat that. Anybody, any motorcycle manufacturer in the market in India today, you cannot beat that. And that is what makes KTM such a popular brand among enthusiasts, you know, people who like to ride hard, people who like to tour, who like to go to different places, who like to go to the track. This is why KTM is so popular among them all. I am absolutely loving this new form of the 390 Duke. Absolutely loving. I mean, usually I will try to, you know, criticize one or the other thing. I do not like everything normally, and that's the way I am. But on this, I could not find any flaw. Look at the way they have integrated the chamber for the oil coolant. It's so nicely done. It's just hidden on the side so neatly. Right? The seat height has been reduced because the suspension is now mounted towards the side. So because of that, they have gotten some space underneath the seat, right, underneath the subframe. And that is how the seat height has been reduced. The fuel tank has gotten bigger. Initially, when the KTM 390 came into the market, it had like, what, 9 liters of fuel tank that grew up to 10 or 11, I think. Now, this is 15 liter. The mirrors, of course, this bike does not have it. But then, yeah, the mirrors were another sore point on the 390 that it replaces. That too has been replaced. Now it gets a lot more sturdier mirror that is there on the Duke, on the Dominar 400. So again, that's a good addition. So I'm just not able to find any flaw on this motorcycle. Nothing at all, quite literally. And I'm sorry for that, because I'm good at finding flaws. That's what I do in my professional life as well, right? Oh, it's amazing, incredibly well executed by KTM and Bajaj in India. You can probably say that, yeah, there is the TVS Apache RTR 310, the top of the line, variant that has better electronics, but then it's personal choice. I somehow did not like the bike. I did not like the design of it at all, and then moreover the electronics seems to be a lot more gimmicky than what it should be. Because I mean, cornering cruise control, who on earth would want a cornering cruise control? Tell me that. Cornering traction control, I understand, but you know, cruise control is the last thing that you would want when you are in a corner, because the only cruise control that you should rely on when you are cornering is this, your right wrist. This is the cruise control that you should rely on. So anyways, that's a personal choice. So now comes the point, should you buy this? Of course, yes. What's there to think about? Trust me. I mean, if I were in the market with like 4 lakh 10,000 rupees in my pocket, right now the on-road price is approximately 4 lakh 10 as far as I know in Bangalore. So if I were in the market looking to upgrade from a 150 or let's say 200cc motorcycle, and I have a budget of like 4 lakh rupees something, I would definitely buy this motorcycle, because honestly, the amount of power you're getting, the kind of design this has, the kind of handling this is offering, you know, the kind of electronics package that you are getting, nothing else comes closer to this. The only thing that I'm waiting on right now after the launch of this is the 390 Adventure with the same engine and the same platform, again with minor tweaks. Man, oh man, how much fun would that be? Because I mean, if you have been to this channel, you would know that I love adventure motorcycles, and yeah, that's one thing which I'm eagerly waiting for. Probably if there is an enduro format, that would be even more better. As I said, if I were in the market looking to buy one performance motorcycle, this is it. I will not look at any other motorcycle than the Duke 390. It is so much better.